Hi, hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the first bookish video of 2026. I'm very excited for today's video because I have been in a reading slump. I think my slump is brought on by a combination of things. The first being that I rang in this new year with the flu, and so I just feel like I haven't had the brain capacity or the energy to focus on sitting down and focusing on like words on a page. That has felt just like too much for me right now. But I know that if I actually just do it, like if I actually just sit down and pick up a book and start reading, I'm sure I'll be like, oh, this is great. This is fine. It's almost a little bit of like, I'm overwhelmed to start. And so that brings me to potentially the second reason why I'm in a bit of a slump. I am usually a mood reader and I have an overwhelming TBR. I would say half of the books on my shelves, or just under half, are unread, which is like a couple hundred books. I have a huge TBR. It's kind of a problem. So I feel like I'm a little bit overwhelmed by the options that I have, and I just like can't pick a book. I don't know what I'm in the mood for. And so all of that to say, I haven't read a single page so far in 2026. Not one word. And I'm not trying to put pressure on myself to read this year. I have a lower reading goal of 50 books for this year because I want to be more intentional about my reading and I want to try and review properly all of the books that I read. The other thing is that I also want to try and maintain a reading journal this year, and I feel like a lower reading goal is going to help me keep up with that and not feel overwhelmed. So that does like allow me to kind of be relaxed in my reading and not have a book on the go all the time. But this is so unlike me. Like, reading is my top cozy hobby. It's my favorite. And for me not to be picking up a book, not to be reading anything at all, this is odd. So I think that I have found a solution to help me get out of this weird slump that I'm in. These are TBR cards. These are cards by Pippi Post. I will link the shop down below. She's got tons of cute designs. My best friend bought this for me as a gift, and I've never used them because, like I said, I'm a mood reader normally. I can't even open it. But right now, we're just like totally struggling. So I think it's time to break out the TBR cards to help me pick some reads. Let's appreciate how cute these are. Like, this is the design on the back of all the cards, and then this is one of the prompts, and they're all sort of like different colors, if you can see that. So it's just a really cute set of cards. Pippi Post's particular cards are called Reader Roulette, which is so fun too. I feel like it adds a little bit of whimsy to your typical TBR card, TBR jar situation, and I'm really excited. So I'm going to shuffle these cards, and I think I'm gonna pick 4. It'll at least give me a couple of options and hopefully feel less overwhelming to pick from than my entire 100 and some odd unread pile. I used to have a TBR cart too, but I no longer have that cart because the pure weight of all of the books that I was putting on it quite literally buckled the cart and broke it. So my TBR books are just on the shelves, and it's just up to my little brain to remember what I've read and what I haven't yet. So I think I'm gonna pick all of my cards first and then go pick some books and come back and we'll chat about them. To start, I think I'm just going to pick the top card. Do eeny, meeny, miny, mo with 2 books and read the one that wins. This is so funny because I dropped this card earlier and I've shuffled the deck like twice and it's come back. So I think something is telling me that this is a card I need to pick. I think I'm just gonna keep doing that. Shuffle and take from the top, maybe. Card number 2. Read a book that matches the current season. I love this card because I tend to do this anyways, so I kind of love that that has been pulled because that just feels like something that I would normally do, so maybe that'll help me get back into my usual reading routine. I feel like cards like these or TBR jars is just like a fun way to pick your books. Kind of forces you to pick books out of maybe your comfort zone or whatever you're in the mood for, so it could break up reading patterns that you're kind of in, or if you're feeling like all of your books are the same lately, this is probably a good way to kind of break it up and find something new. Card number 3, pick the longest book on your TBR. That's a wild card. That's a wild card. I feel like particularly because I'm trying to get out of a slump, that might not be the best option. But we're gonna find one and we're gonna figure it out. That one worries me a little bit, not gonna lie. And the last card for this TBR pick. Read a book based in a foreign country. Fun. Okay, so we have our 4 picks. I am gonna go pick some books and we'll come back and talk about them in a minute. Okay, we have our book picks. Our first prompt was to do eeny, meeny, miny, moe with 2 books and read the one that wins. I don't know how we're gonna do this. I have picked 2 books. I've picked Throne of Secrets by Carrie Maniscalco and Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I feel like these books, they're both fantasy, so they're both kind of in a similar sort of realm. Even the covers, like, have a similar color scheme going on. Maybe I'll see if David is willing to help me with this part. Say hi to David, everybody. David, say hi.
Hello.
So I think I'm going to maybe get David to hold both of the books behind his back, because I wasn't sure how to do this like myself without like cheating or like knowing which one is going to win, like genuinely doing eeny, miny, moe and not knowing without a second person. So if you want to hold both of these in like your 2 hands so I don't know which one, and I'll do like eeny, meeny, miny, moe.
Yep.
On your hands.
Good to go.
Okay.
This arm.
I'll just do this and then
okay.
You'll pick which. Okay. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. Catch a tiger by the toe. If he hollers, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. Right. Quicksilver by Callie Hart is our first book of the TBR. Thank you, David.
No problem.
I feel like this was like audience participation, almost.
Yep.
Thanks.
All right. Love you. Bye.
That's it. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Officially have our first book on the TBR. I actually have been wanting to read this, so I'm glad that I picked it. I feel like I just needed the extra push. Honestly, already, genuinely, I'm excited to start reading again, just by like trying to pick books that match the prompts and figure it out. Like, it's kind of like brought some excitement back into reading. Not that I'm not excited to read, I usually always am, it's my favorite hobby, but I feel like I just needed a little bit of a spark after being ill and like the busy season of Christmas and just like being mentally overstimulated and overwhelmed. We needed the spark back to pick up some books. So super excited about this. People are raving about this. I have tried to read this in the past, but I feel like I couldn't get past certain aspects of the writing. So I had put it down. I didn't DNF it. I put it on pause. So I think we're going to restart it as a physical book. I was reading it as like a Kindle edition, and I'm wondering if reading it as like a physical copy will be like a different experience for me, and I'll be able to push through the part that stopped me before. Anyways, I just want to know like what people love so much about this series, and I have the second book also, so excited about pick number 1. Our next prompt was read a book that matches the current season, and for that I picked Thrown for a Loop by Serena Bowen, which is a hockey romance and a figure skating romance. She's a figure skater, he's a hockey skater, hockey player. I always associate hockey romances with winter, which is the season that we're in. Also, the rest of my picks are fantasy, so I thought we could potentially break it up with a rom-com in there too. So this is our second pick. Then we had pick the longest book on your TBR, which was actually more difficult than I thought it was because a lot of my longest books are books in a series that I haven't read the first book of, so I couldn't just like grab that book and read it because it's like a second or third book in a series and I haven't read the first book. But I did come across The Jasad Crown by Sarah Hashim, which is the second book to the Jasad Heir, which I did read I think last year or the year before and really enjoyed. And this chonker of a book is 656 pages, which I think, looking at the rest of my books, oh wait, hold on. I stand corrected. Yep. I stand corrected. It's not the longest book on my TBR. That isn't further in a series than I've read. This is. I'm intimidated by this. I'm gonna be honest. See, I've started it and had put it on pause. This is Born of Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout, which is the 4th book in the Shadow... What is it? A Shadow in the Ember series, which is the spin-off series to From Blood and Ash. I started this book, and this is, again, one that I had, like, put down because I was struggling to get through it because of the writing. JLA is an author who I feel like her series always start out really strong, but as they go on, I have a more and more difficult time with them. But rules are rules. This is the longest book on my TBR that I can logically read because it's next in a series. So this has to be the pick. I'm really sorry, Jasad Crown. I will get to you eventually. That one's gonna go back on my shelf. And this is going to be our 3rd pick. I'm a little bit scared because it is 873 pages. And I know that the next book after this, which I think is the next book in the From Blood and Ash series, these two series have become like interwoven, so you have to like read them in publication order to have all the information. So I can't read the next one, but the next one is even longer than this. I'm scared. This is pick number 3. She's a chonker. Good flop though. And the last pick from our Reader Roulette TBR cards was read a book based in a foreign country. And I have the perfect pick for this. This is one of my highly anticipated books, and that is Graceless Heart by Isabel Ibanez. Please excuse my poor pronunciation. First of all, look at the stunning cover. And the purple metallic pages. And hold on. Just wait. Isn't she beautiful? This is blurbed by some like fantasy greats. By Rachel Gillig, Ava Reed, Adrienne Young, Ayanna Gray, Sue Lynn Tan, Rebecca Ross, Mary E. Pearson, who I love. I'm actually so excited to read this. It takes place in Renaissance Italy. In Florence in particular, potentially in Rome also. I think the majority of it takes place in Florence though. And that is a foreign country to me in Canada. So I'm super excited to read that too. And with that, we have our 4 picks. That's so exciting. I'm so happy to have a little TBR and to hopefully start reading again, get some pages logged for January, and re-add reading into my cozy hobby lineup, because lately it's just been puzzling and playing cozy games, which is so fun, but reading I feel like is such a core part of my being and who I am as a person and my personality. So I'm so happy to bring this back. So stay tuned because I'll probably be filming a reading vlog very soon of starting these books and getting out of my slump. So thank you so much for watching. Have a great day and I will see you so soon.